How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it's Thursday here on the show, and you know what that means? We got a lot to talk about today, and I'm going solo. So, we're going to give you some information later on how you can message the show, because I can't imagine talking nonstop for an hour. I guess I've done it before. But anyway, we'll get into everything today because there's a lot of news. Tomorrow, of course, is SmackDown. We got Collision this weekend. Got a bunch of big shows coming up, including the TNA Emergence show, Triple Mania, NXT Heatwave, and Forbidden Door. You'll be stunned to hear Heatwave and Forbidden Door are going head-to-head. We got updates on Roman Reigns and Karrion Kross and Buddy Matthews and more on this ESPN deal, which if you listen to this podcast of Observer Live yesterday, well, you didn't hear any of that because I just screwed everything up. It was one of those days. But you know what? We barreled through and we turned it around. If you didn't hear yesterday's After Dark Radio, it was a great show. We talked about dragons and dinosaurs, and an excellent guest who will be returning to the show. He wrote a great book. But we'll get into that later as well. But the rest of the news here, we got actually some things we didn't get a chance to talk about the other day. And, of course, the Dynamite show, MVP. Going to talk more about that and plenty more. If you'd like to text us here today, join the show. Why don't you join the show? It's 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. Email F4WOnline at gmail.com. F4W Online Threads, Instagram, and Cameo at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. Back in a moment with more Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. What was up with this week? Everyone thinking Monday was Tuesday.
Well, that was just
Everyone?
you, sir.
Yeah, well, when it happened, it was like I got all these people that were messaging me going, my God, I thought it was Tuesday too today. It was like something happened with like the moon or something, and it caused everybody to think that Monday was Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, God, am I losing it?
Yes.
Have you ever lost something and gave up all hope before finding it in an obvious place?
Yeah, my mind. I went to go make her the quesadilla, and I opened up the pantry, and there's no tortillas. I looked down on the ground, and there's the package that they used to be in, but there's no tortillas. So I call Hanale over, and she says, well, I didn't know how to close the bag.
Uh-oh.
So I put them all in a box of light bulbs. I said, why did you put them in a box with light bulbs? Swear to God, she goes, if that box is good enough for light bulbs, it's good enough for tortillas. And I said, no, that's not worse. I open the box, these tortillas are hard as a rock.
She is so your daughter.
Crumbling to dust.
It's insane.
God.
I lost my wallet at the Alamo Dome. The next day, I got a call from an usher that he found it. When I met up with him, everything was still in it. He refused to accept any money from me.
Wow.
Wow. I once lost my wallet in El Segundo.
Lantian says Big Dave's sanity.
Wow.
Well, he found it then. It's right there. It was never lost.
99% of the time, no matter where I park, I always know exactly where it is. But there's always that 1% of the time where is my car?
Dude.
And it's like in a bizarre place. Like, what was going on? All right, Granny, what do we got?
We need to buy you a machine that you speak into, and it converts your voice into text.
Oh, my God.
So you don't have to write it down anymore.
Absolutely not.
And then I think even better, we put that text into a text-to-voice app and have it read her.
Oh, my God.
Whatever. Stacy Keebler, her and Tori had a eggnog fight. Just a minute here.
Okay.
Looks my page.
Then he
I
looks
decided
completely depressed over there.
Take something from down below.
Mind your own business.
They're like,
Ray Kinsella builds a baseball field
Field
on
of
his
Dreams. Kevin Costner.
baseball.
James Earl Jones.
If you build it, they will come.
Iowa.
Oh, all right.
You didn't let me finish the question, Brian.
She's right.
Oh, she yells at me. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Brandon here says, hope you are doing better today, sir. I appreciate that, Brandon. I am doing much better than I was yesterday when the show began. Although we turned it around in the end. I mean, for crying out loud, the show ended with a Dynamite lineup. Can you imagine? And then, we already have 3 matches announced for Collision. And we already have 3 matches announced, or 3 segments announced for next week's Dynamite. This is all a big improvement. Collision on Saturday as Hangman Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey against Rush Dralistico and the Beast Mortos. Kyle Fletcher against Ishii for the TNT title. And Willow Nightingale, Queen Aminata, and Ty Mello versus Tekla, Julie Hart, and Sky Blue. So, I guess we got to talk about old MVP a little more. You know, we mentioned this yesterday. There was that story out. And I don't know where to begin, but I guess I'll just begin with the story. The story was essentially that there were people that didn't like MVP, and there were people MVP didn't like. And YouTube feed is down. What's going on? Do we have a YouTube feed? Let me find out, everybody. Not that the YouTube feed is like necessarily the best thing when it's free. Suncast, do we have YouTube or no? We'll see what he says. Anyway. We may just, we're going to have another day like yesterday or what? So here's the deal. MVP, well, I don't even know where to start on this thing. So everyone in the chat is kind of talking about how, you know, Fightful is wrong and this and that. And I guess yesterday on at some point, everyone's saying YouTube is up. What are you guys doing to me here? You trying to screw this whole thing up for me today? Apparently YouTube is working. I don't know what some people's problem is here, but multiple reports that YouTube is working just fine. So I don't know what to tell you. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's just make this easy for everybody. Some of you might have missed the show yesterday. I'll just go and read the original story and then go from there. All right. Report. AEW roster member has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It's being reported MVP has, quote, rubbed a lot of people the wrong way backstage in AEW. According to Fightful, this sentiment has been expressed by a number of talents on the roster. The Hurt Syndicate member has made it known he does not like Speedball Mike Bailey and did not want Lashley and Shelton losing to Bailey and Kevin Knight. It's not clear why MVP dislikes Bailey or if Hurt Syndicate was ever actually planned to lose. Report also states MVP turned down pitches for the Hurt Syndicate to lose to FTR at All In and Forbidden Door. MVP reportedly suggested they would rather lose to the Gates of Agony, Outrunners, or Private Party, 3 teams they've already defeated this year. Said to be frustration within the AEW locker room. The faction beats everyone up, high fives the fans, does cool moves when they're supposed to be heels. Numerous people have also expressed the environment in the company is the best it's been in years, and there's plenty more here. So yesterday at the show, MVP and Speedball, they did kind of a little video together. MVP posted a video to his Instagram showing he, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin walking backstage when they came upon Bailey, who was filming for his vlog. MVP then said, F you, Speedball. Bailey said, well, F you too, MVP. MVP then told Lashley and Benjamin to tell him, but they stared at the floor and said the same thing. A smiling Bailey says, well, F you guys too, before he waved, and MVP did the same. So that was on social media yesterday. So, on the chat here, everyone's, Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful, blah, 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 wrong, this and that. Here's the thing, everybody, okay? The story that came out was when I read it, it was the details were weird, okay? Like I talked about yesterday. Listen, there's all sorts of people that have had issues at AEW, and we've heard about them, and it's always a situation where, okay, whether you agree with one guy or whether you agree with the other guy, or one woman and another woman, at the end of the day, each side has their side of the story about why they're upset, okay? A perfect example would be Jungle Boy and CM Punk, okay? Jungle Boy was upset about a decision that CM Punk made. He made a comment on television. CM Punk didn't like the comment that he made on television. They end up having a what have you, okay? So we know the thing happened. We know why one side doesn't like the other. We know why the other side doesn't like the other, okay? So at least we know everything. You can make your decision about whose side you're on, whatever, okay? This one was weird because it just came out of nowhere. It's a very specific story. MVP doesn't like Mike Bailey. There's no explanation as to why. Everything about it was weird, okay? Now, before everybody gets on Fightful, and before everybody gets on Sean and whoever else, listen. Don't think that there aren't people who MVP has rubbed the wrong way, okay? He has, all right? Now, MVP is a guy who's going to speak his mind. He's going to say what's on his mind. I mean, you can even see it on television sometimes during this interview segments. I mean, he's going to say what's on his mind. He'll do it on commentary. He'll do it on whatever, okay? Yes, he does rub people the wrong way sometimes, okay? But, I mean, it's not like he's the only one. That's one of the other reasons this story is so bizarre. It's like, you know how many people rub people the wrong way in every company? There's a lot of them. But anyway, sure, sometimes it happens. I mean, the whole situation with Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight and the Hurt Syndicate, okay? Jet Speed, they were going to get a shot at the tag team titles. And if you watch the TV, the build was they got beaten and beaten and beaten and smashed and humiliated and made to look like idiots. We talked about it. It's like, what is this booking, okay? Don't think nobody else thought the exact same thing. What is this, okay? We've talked about it before. How are these guys heels? Like, they go out there and the people chant for them and they cheer for them to the point where people would argue with me that they're actually baby faces, okay? They're not. They're supposed to be heels. Don't think that isn't something that people talk about. Like, why do they destroy everybody and beat everybody down and act cool and like the fans cheer them and they boo the baby faces? Don't act like that's never happened, okay? It has, all right? But I don't think there's a serious issue between MVP and Mike Bailey. Maybe there's something there, but clearly, I mean, everything's good enough that they did a segment backstage, okay? My point is the fact that they did that segment for social media doesn't mean that the entire rest of the story is made up whole cloth, okay? It's not. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There is some heat on MVP. There are some people that don't like MVP. There's some people that don't like how the Hurt business is booked. I mean, none of this is new is the other thing. It's like, why did this all of a sudden come out this week? Like, we've been talking about it forever. So, I mean, I did, the report here noted that, what did it say here? Basically, it was talking about like things are better backstage than they've been in a long time. That's true. I've heard the exact same thing. Morale is better now backstage than it's been in a long time. Okay? That doesn't mean that everybody gets along. It doesn't mean that everything is perfect. Okay, but it does mean that morale is, in general, the best it's been in a long time. And if you watch the show compared to like a year ago at this time, it's like there has been a long, 6-7 month streak of a lot of improvement in a lot of ways in AEW, and a lot of the wrestlers there, they're feeling a lot more bullish about things than they were a year ago. So I don't know. The story was just weird. That's what I can tell you. I asked around yesterday. There's a little bit to it that's maybe not what was written, but in general, like a lot of that is the way things are. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Granny, what's happening? What do we got for the wrestling report here today?
Talk or something.
Talk or something.
So Niven comes in, jumps on Bailey with her overweight body a couple of times, doesn't mind playing dirty, leaves Bailey on the mat in lots of pain. I found this book. It's called Limericks from the Heart.
Is this a Lanny Poffo book?
Let me finish this one. This guy's name is Lanny Poffo. And there are 335 pages in here. Can you guess what it's about?
Smoking.
Oh,
Sean's the wizard.
have you read it?
We read it every week for about 6 months.
When I first started.
Wow.
Why don't we start reading some questions, and we'll see if we can spur some answers out of Granny. Shall we try?
I don't think so.
Let's try.
Then you'll really find out how dumb I am.
Granny, did you know there was a wrestling bear?
No, and I don't care.
All right.
It's a bear that wrestled people.
I still don't care.
Okay.
Is Granny frozen?
Granny, you frozen?
No, I'm ready to read my report.
Your picture is frozen.
It is?
Yeah. Or you're doing a great job as a ventriloquist.
Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, or whatever his last name is. Paul Newman is watching this match, and he's not on Cody's side. What's the matter?
Absolutely nothing. Everything's great.
Cody did say that he was looking for a manager. I think him and Paul Newman would be a
What a handsome pair.
a dashing duo.
That guy's a movie star, isn't he?
Since you're on the phone, why don't we just jump right into your wrestling report and such, and then we'll let you go and we'll do Facebook without you.
Can I lay the phone down and can you hear me?
You can try. Why don't you give it a shot?
Okay.
Oh, boy. It's going to be a disaster. I can already tell.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's all right, I guess.
Go ahead.
No, it's your segment. You're gonna read
us jokes,
or your wrestling report or whatever. I see Granny has now put the phone back up to her ear.
I'm just for now.
Do you have the soaps or anything else, Granny, or are we is that it?
I want to quit for now.
Okay. Well,
no more.
Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Back here on the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. To everyone in the chat, it was not a story planted by WWE. I mean, it's been something that people have talked about for a long time in AEW. But, it was never a big deal. It was just a thing. It was a thing that people started talking about. And it was weird because all of a sudden, if this would have come out right after the Hurt Syndicate stomped down Jet Speed for about the third straight time, if the next day the story had come out, it'd been okay, that makes sense. But the weird thing was, it just came out of nowhere on a random day, and I mean, it was just it's not that big a deal. And I don't know why it was just like such a thing all of a sudden. But no, it did not come from WWE. People in AEW have been talking about it for a long time. Now, speaking of WWE, since we didn't even, well, some of you heard about it, but here's a gist of the ESPN deal and also some other notes. So it's a $1.6 billion a year over 5 years, $325 million a year. The major PLEs at this point, 10 PLEs, including the 2 nights of WrestleMania and the 2 nights of SummerSlam, are all going to be on this new ESPN streaming service. It's not ESPN Plus or whatever. It's a new service. It is going to launch on August 21st. It'll be $30 a month, okay? Now, if you have ESPN on your cable package, at this point, maybe about 40% of you that have ESPN, depending on your provider, you won't have to pay anything. This will be part of your package, okay? Now, the thing hasn't even launched yet, and they're still doing negotiations. So whatever is the deal today, don't worry about it. Worry about it as we get closer to WrestleMania if you still don't have access to it. Because, for example, I have YouTube TV, and right now, if I have YouTube TV, even though it's got the ESPN packages, I will still have to pay $30 a month for this service. Today, they could make a deal tomorrow. They could make a deal next week. By the time WrestleMania rolls around, which is when this thing is going to launch, probably most, if you have the ESPN package, most of the cable services, you will get this as part of your package. Right now, it's not that way, but I wouldn't panic about it yet. So, a couple of other notes. First off, we don't know anything about the video library yet. We don't know anything about NXT. They're obviously still shopping things around. It's possible the library may end up on Peacock. Possible NXT PLEs may also stream on Peacock. They may go to Netflix. I mean, there's a lot of different options available. They're going to go wherever the money is the highest, which is should not come as a surprise to anybody. Apparently, in the negotiations, Peacock did make an offer, and I guess the offer was allegedly in the neighborhood of about $275 million a year, and WWE wanted more, obviously, and they ended up getting the $325 million, and that's why they went to ESPN over Peacock. Obviously, if Peacock had offered $400 million a year, they'd have stayed, but they didn't. And apparently they also were potentially shopping around WrestleMania as a separate deal. So, for example, they might have been willing to stay with Peacock, but we're going to give ESPN WrestleMania for X amount per year. That was something that was discussed, but they ended up going all in with ESPN. So, that's the gist of it. And where everything falls out, we shall learn as the months go on. I think one of the biggest stories is that, this is a $1.6 billion deal. $1.6 billion. And yesterday, when it came out that they had moved from a $1 billion deal to a $1.6 billion deal, apparently the stock dropped because that wasn't a good enough increase for investors. $1 billion to $1.6 billion. And so later in the day, they actually said that the Peacock deal, which had been, reported everywhere and in financial everything, that they had claimed that was a $1 billion deal. And because investors were not happy, they actually stated yesterday that it really wasn't $1 billion. It was only $900 million. And this is supposed to be a publicly traded company. The SEC is supposed to be involved in all of this. How do you all of a sudden, years after the fact, announce that we claimed $1 billion, but it was actually only $900 million? How do you get away with this? I mean, I guess just nobody cares. But anyway, it turns out their Peacock deal was not as good as they'd claimed for years, which seems incredibly sketchy. But whatever, that's what they said. So there you go. One other note, which kind of ties into this. So the last match of John Cena. At this point, the last John Cena match is going to take place at a Saturday night's main event. Okay? So there had been a lot of discussions about his final match being on a December PLE. So at this point, there isn't going to be a December PLE. And granted, everything can change. But I guess the way that it works is they had agreed to a certain number of PLEs with Peacock. And because of the Evolution pay-per-view, and also the second night of SummerSlam, they don't need a December PLE. They've hit their quota, so to speak. And so as a result, it appears that his final match will be on Saturday night's main event, which, I mean, probably will do significantly more viewers than a PLE would have done. And especially if you advertise it on NBC as John Cena's final match. And so that looks to be the case. And there's another note, but I actually won't talk about it because I don't know if it's actually the case, but it ties into the 3 hours of SmackDown. So they did do their earnings report, and they did mention that their television revenue would be lower for the next quarter because SmackDown was down to 2 hours. And that means that, in fact, they were making more money for SmackDown when it was 3 hours for the first half of the year. It was a little more than a half of the year. And there was still no explanation as to why. And a lot of people, you know, they've asked a question like, well, if we still don't know why, and if they did make more money for it, is it possible this will be like an annual thing? So, like, you know, the first half of the year will be 3 hours and it will drop to 2 hours. I don't think that's what's going to happen. And I guess I will say, I'm not reporting this. It is 100% speculation. But the speculation is that, like with the PLEs, it might have been that there were a certain number of episodes of SmackDown that WWE was contracted to do. And in order to meet that number, they had to add an hour to the show for 7 months or whatever. And that's how they're going to end up hitting the quota. So it could be that, could be something else, but I don't think that we're going to be doing like a 50-50, you know, half the year is going to be 3 hours, half the year is going to be 2 hours. I think it was kind of a one-time deal, and thank God now it's over, and we can move on. So that's the update on that, the ESPN deal and everything else. Roman Reigns also has been confirmed for more Raw appearances. He's going to be on the August 18th Raw, August 25th Raw. He will be most likely on the Clash in Paris show on August 31st. So that's not 100%, but WrestleVotes believes he's going to be there. So anyway, what that means is it was not an injury angle. Apparently, you know, he's filming... what is it, Street Fighter? Mortal Kombat? What is it? Anyway, he's filming a movie. It's the movie that he's going to be part of, and Cody, and, oh God, who was it from New Japan? It's just bizarre. But anyway, the point is, I don't believe that begins filming until September. So there's really no reason to do an injury angle in the middle of August to take him off TV for August before he, 50 Cent's in it. But who's the New Japan guy in it? What are like a completely random New Japan wrestler is Goto. That's right. Haruki Goto's in this movie with John Cena and Roman Reigns and 50 Cent. I mean, and many others. It's gonna be think it's going to be something to see. Anyway, somehow I have talked nonstop for 40 minutes. So when we come back from the break, I'll just jump right into the Dynamite report. And Cody! That's right, Cody Rhodes as well. All right, back in a moment. Observer Live. Check out this free video and make sure you hit like and subscribe.
If Truth didn't have the best weekend in this company, then Mr. Iguana did.
Oh, yeah, this guy is over, dude.
We'll get to him in the Worlds Collide review, but
He's got merch up on WWE shop.
he's going to make so much
He's got these
money.
kids that want to see more Mr. Iguana.
Yeah. So
His face paint is so funny.
I must stop you right here. It's not face
Oh,
paint.
would you stop?
It's head paint.
Yeah, it looks.
He paints his whole damn head.
It looks like he's gets held upside down and they just dunk
Dip
his
it,
head
yes.
in green paint.
Yes.
It's absolutely bizarre.
And when he's not wrestling, he wears the round silver spectacles,
Yes,
and
he's got a
he flicks his
puppet.
tongue constantly,
Yes,
as an iguana would, and Del Toro and Octagon do whatever, and people are patient, but they don't care. And then Iguana tags in, and they are hyped. It took about 7 seconds to make himself my favorite luchador. He starts, I forget who he's in there with, but the guy offers a handshake, and so he licks it because he's an iguana, and then he gets hit with a shoulder tackle, or it's a chop. He takes a chop, he drops to his back, he sticks all 4 limbs straight in the air.
Yes.
He's playing dead like an iguana would. So then he brings in the puppet. I didn't get the puppet's name. I should have used it 50 times. But it's an iguana puppet that he thinks is real. Well,
already up on WWE shop.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You know if Harley Cameron's doll is on the AEW?
I do not know.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
So he starts doing spots with the puppet in his mouth. He lets the puppet try to get the pin. And amidst all the silliness, Conan says, you know this, Mr. Iguana, he's most popular with children.
I liked how as soon as the puppet started doing spots, Corey Graves goes, "Is that legal in Mexico?" And without skipping a beat, Conan goes, "Yes."
Low on the list of things you will see in a Lucha Libre match, especially in AAA. So he starts using the puppet more as a weapon, or as a distraction, I should say. But it ends up with Lince Dorado getting a hold of this puppet, and he snaps, and he stomps the puppet, and he grabs the puppet, and he Spanish flies the puppet. This crowd is outraged. They're pissed. They're furious. But you know he's even more pissed and furious?
It got more heat than anything else. Maybe on the entire show,
Mr.
actually.
Goddamn Iguana.
They were
who's
furious.
seething and his eyes are breaking out, and he snaps and just rips ass. He grabs his own lizard and is whipping these guys with it. And then they remember it's just a puppet and they stop selling.
This was a very, very fun match. I liked it a lot. And there's a lot to learn here about marketing.
Yeah.
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Before we get into this Dynamite report, we got a text message here. Person says, I have a question that may come off as AW hate, but it's a legit question. I was watching Dynamite on HBO Max last night, noticed multiple times the audio glitched out. I know it's nothing new for AW, but when I look back at it, noticed something. The times the glitches happened were during the Callis Kyle promo, during the Bucks match, a couple of times after as well. I noticed during the Kyle promo, the crowd is booing him a lot, then the glitch happens and you hear weird crowd chants. Okay, so listen. This is the exact same thing that happens on WWE. It's an attempt to remove profanity when the crowd is chanting bad things. So Don Callis came out, and there were very, very loud F Don Callis chants, which coincidentally, by the way, I was watching on Max, and they didn't bleep them, and I was actually very surprised. Normally they do. And I also normally watch on Max. So, and during the Bucks match, I mean, anytime there's crazy spots, you'll hear profane chants. And I mean, you have options. Like, you can either try and cover it up with different audio, which is what AEW does, or like NXT, they just mute the audio completely. So sometimes it's like, 20 seconds of complete dead air because they're getting rid of these chants. On Raw, I think on Raw they mute it. So it's just a different way of doing it. Sometimes the decision is to mute it, and sometimes the decision is to put a different audio track over it. But it's not a production issue. It's trying to cover up for the fans saying very bad things during the show. All right, let's talk about Dynamite. It's the lead to Forbidden Door, and it opened up with, got both my notes here, MJF doing a promo, and he's very upset at Hangman for not giving him a title shot, and he vowed to take it out on Mark Briscoe tonight. Said Mark's luck is about to run out. So then, what an irony that the opening match is Jon Moxley versus Mike Bailey. MVP's most hated wrestler, Mike Bailey. Clearly, Moxley does not hate Mike Bailey because he gave this guy a ton in this match. And it's kind of one of those matches where he just beats this guy unmercifully for the first half of the match, gets a lot of heat, and then he starts giving this guy a comeback. And like every time, the crowd they're going nuts by the end. And they're trading these cradles, and Wheeler tries to interfere, and Darby comes out and kidnaps Wheeler, and then Moxley's distracted, and Speedball rolls him out. And this is like the closest 2 count you've ever seen. And the crowd thought it was a 3, and they're going wild, but it's a 2. And finally, Moxley hits him with a Death Rider and pins him. This match was great. So afterwards, Moxley and Marina are heading outside. They see Wheeler on the ground in a body bag. Darby tries to run him over, but they save Wheeler's life. They unzip the bag. Forbidden Door is stapled to Wheeler's head. So it looks like Jon Moxley and Darby's at Forbidden Door. Mercedes showed up with the 8 belts. You guys aware that we're all entitled to our opinion? Some of you aren't, but it's true. We all are. And in my opinion, this 8 belts thing is stupid. Okay? When she had like 3 belts, and then she won like a 4th belt, it was like up until about 4 belts, like it was pretty cool. She's a belt collector. She's winning all these, and they're like major belts from major promotions. And then, like, she shows up on TV, and she's got 8 belts, and they're just draped all around her. And, like, once you hit 8, I realize, for a brief period of time, Ultimo Dragon had that octuple crown, but, like, I was just watching on this show, and it's like, once you get to 8, now it's goofy. So she's walking around with these belts, and she's trying to have, Anyway. Alex Windsor, Queen Aminata, Sky Blue, Billy Starks, 4-way qualifier for Forbidden Door. It's going to be it's a 4-way qualifier for a 4-way match. And Yeti, Pot Pie. She's a heel is not a defense for everything stupid, okay? I know some people that really like certain things. It's like, that's your defense. She's a heel, okay? But there's a problem, like, Are you a heel that people are supposed to take seriously, or are you a heel that people aren't supposed to take seriously? Because it is possible to be a heel, and also you get too silly, and now it's hard to take you seriously as a heel. We've seen this with many heels over the years, and this is not like good heel heat at this point. Now it's silly. And I don't think the Mercedes character as a heel is supposed to be silly. It's supposed to be like a serious thing. And it's coming off not serious here because it's now silly. So I know some people like to defend everything AEW does. It's okay that some things are silly and like it could be better. And this is one of them. It's ridiculous. Now, where were we? It's a 4-way for a 4-way. And Alex Windsor won. So we got 2 other women that will be involved in the 4-way at Forbidden Door for Mercedes title. And then afterwards, they did a big shebang where Mercedes is out there. And Alex Windsor's out there. Tony's out there. Athena lays out Tony. And then Athena and Mercedes have a stare down, even though they're not wrestling each other at the show. And we were told they're on the same page. So maybe we'll get a tag. Young Bucks gave a production guy a paper and said that Justin Roberts needed to read this word for word. We had the aforementioned Don Callis, Kyle Fletcher promo. These fans hated Don Callis, just screaming at this guy at the top of their lungs. And Kyle brags about taking out Dustin, taking out Cole. He's going to be the greatest TNT champion of all time. Don says, I've got you a gift. It is another oil painting. It is freaking preposterous. He's getting so much heat. And this segment was great. So then we had another one of those segments. I love these segments. Remember when Christian came out last week and did that promo? And I said, that promo sucked. His delivery sucked, and the whole point of the promo sucked. Like, eventually we're supposed to want to like this guy and see him team with Copeland. But, like, this guy came out and he had no remorse. He had no nothing. And what happened? Oh, it's great. It's great, Brian. You're an idiot. Everything is great in AEW. It's a great promo. Made great sense. It was perfect. Well, here comes Copeland. They go, what did you think of this promo? And he says literally the exact same thing that I said. What kind of a promo was that, Copeland says? He had no remorse. There was no apology. The guys learned nothing. And he's still an a-hole. I was like, correct. That is absolutely correct. So, Copeland and I, we both missed the brilliance of this promo to eventually turn him babyface. So, next week, he's going to be facing Stokely. He has been allowed a match with Stokely. FTR cannot come within 50 feet or 200 feet or whatever. And if they do, the restraining order is null and void. This actually is great, and I'll talk about why on the Bryan and Vinny show tonight. I don't got time today. Young Bucks against Brodito. So the Young Bucks had given a note to Justin Roberts. They told the production guy, you tell him to read this verbatim. And so, of course, the letter Justin starts to read. I didn't write it exactly down, but it was to the effect of, hey, Justin, you idiot. When we come out tonight, you better introduce us the right way. We're not jobbers. And Justin just reads it exactly as it's written. So, of course, the fans are going wild. They're chanting jobbers at these guys. They're literally announced as Max and Jeremy, which was the name they used in about 2008 in TNA when they were shoot jobbers. And the fans are eating this up. And, I mean, the good news is they can still work. This match was awesome. Brodito, Young Bucks, this is awesome chance. They did the deal again where they're going for the EVP trigger, but they're not EVPs. So now they're in a big, what should we call it, in the middle of the ring, which of course is a distraction to allow the babyfaces to make a comeback. They did some awesome spots during the comeback, the babyfaces, and finally, Nick and Bandito are on the guardrail. Bandito press slams him off the barricade on the mat. Bandito hits the X-knee on Matt, 21 plex. Nick breaks it up. He gets sent outside. Bandito hits a top rope SOS moonsault, and then they hit their monkey flip finish. It's a monkey flip. That's their finish for the pin. So it's FTR versus Brodito. The winners get Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door. This match was awesome. Hurt Syndicate promo. MVP walks in. Or MJF walks in. God, if this happens again. MVP says, you don't get it, dude. All you think about is yourself. The Hurt Syndicate, we are supposed to hurt people. Not me. You get the thumbs down. And he warns him. Because Max says it's not personal, it's just business. MVP says, no. I hope you don't win that title. Because if you do, Lashley's coming to get you. And it won't be business. It'll be personal. This was a great segment. Stokely did a promo, but having to face Copeland. He's all worried. This was a great segment as well. There were a lot of great interview segments on this show. We had Swerve coming out for a promo, also a great promo. He's going to win the title from Okada, and he's going to... I guess every time he's been in London, he's lost. So he's going to redeem himself and win the unified title and make Don Callis cry in the corner. Queen Aminata. Oh, God, I'm not going to even review this thing. I almost want to... What's happening with Statlander and Willow? Are they trying to beat the record of Waller and Theory? This is not a record that needs to be broken. They broke up in May of 2024. It is August of 2025. It has been 15 months, and I'm not sure we're any closer to a resolution. MJF and Mark Briscoe. This was a good match, but because of that, I was disappointed. It's MJF and Mark Briscoe. I expected this to be so much better, and I think the big thing, and I know this is from me. I don't know about the rest of you, but my most hated spot in wrestling is when a guy goes to the top and the heel does the slow log roll out of the way. There is no spot I hate more than that in wrestling. I hate it. The action just slows to a complete halt every time. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, if it's fake and you're trying to make the people mad, it makes sense. But if it's real, it's like, okay, if you're in good enough shape to, like, roll out of the way of the move, why don't you wait till the guy jumps so he crashes and burns? Why don't you get your knee up? Like, it's such an infuriating spot to me. It just kills the momentum of a match. They did it 5 times. And, like, Mark went for the froggy elbow, and Max rolled out of the way 5 times. By the 5th time, nobody cared. And, like, he finally hit it on the 6th time, and it got, like, a modicum. I mean, they cheered and everything because they, like, hit it. But it was like, man, the rule of 3s, guys. You broke it by 2. And then you did it 2 more times after that, but you actually hit it. So anyway, we'll get into the finish after the break. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We got a big Elimination Chamber report here. And also Collision from Saturday, which actually was a pretty damn good show in its own right.
I was not told to watch Collision.
Vinny?
I forgot to text him Thursday night. I figured he'd be in bed. I said I'd do it tomorrow. And then Friday I bought a car. I was busy, and I've been forgotten. John comes out, looks into the camera, and says, "There's a vibe in here tonight."
Sure is.
I'll see. Punk's eyes are bugging out of his head. Seth is still there screaming, "Die, die!" And Seth gets his way. Punk dies. John Cena wins. I thought the finish of this was incredible. Great stuff.
God, Travis Scott. Jesus God almighty. This was exactly like when Hogan used to come to the ring, Dennis Rodman trailing him, and Dennis Rodman was like on another planet. He had no idea where he was at, stumbling to the ring. You basically have to drag him down there. This Travis Scott was on another planet, dude.
Well, the first time he was on the show was on that Raw show. He was smoking a blunt in the audience.
They go from the hug to a shot of Cena's angry heel face, and they cut right to Rock On. And then he kicks him right in the balls. And the crowd freaked out. The John Cena turned heel. Hulk Hogan, he was getting booed before he turned. It was a risk, but, they were getting sick of the guy anyway. The problem with Steve Austin was he was the top babyface, and there was nobody to replace him when he turned. John Cena's been gone forever. He comes back. It's not like he was going to be the top babyface. They got 50 babyfaces. Cody's the biggest babyface they got. There's no risk whatsoever turning John Cena heel. He's 10 times more interesting now. The Cena and Cody feud is 1,000 times more interesting.
Travis hit Cody Rhodes in the face as hard as he could. I bet that sucked.
This was a big deal, and
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
You guys need to listen to Observer Live on Friday.
No thanks.
because some dude called in, all bombastic and outrageous.
Do y'all think that John Cena is going to be the one that turns heel and joins The Rock as his champion?
No chance. And I shot him down. I laughed at him.
Wow.
I said it's not going to happen. John Cena's here to sell tickets and merch as a babyface for his last year. He ain't turning heel.
They need to make shirts for John Cena that just say, "Can you see me now?"
I got to apologize to old Dwayne. I thought that guy was out of his mind. He got me. This is awesome. I cannot wait to see where they go here. So at the end of the match, puts him through the table. Actually, Mark goes for the froggy bow outside, crashes through the table. He's dead. Max gets in the ring. Mark almost doesn't get it back, but he gets back in. He's immediately hit with a heat seeker. Max covers. Mark puts his foot on the ropes. Ref doesn't see it. Max takes the win, pulls the foot off the ropes. So Mark still has not gotten revenge for MJF saying all of those horrible things about his deceased brother. And not only does he lose, not only does he not get his revenge on MJF, MJF beats him half to death with the ring afterwards. Hangman has to come down to make the save. So, I don't know. We'll see where this goes. Clearly, MJF and Hangman are having a match. It's probably at Forbidden Door. I mean, they could probably do something in the last second to do Mark Briscoe at Forbidden Door and Max at All Out, but at this point, they beat this guy so bad. I don't know. But anyway, I'd say overall it was a very good show. I mean, you had two very, very good matches. The Jon Moxley match and the Young Bucks match. So very, very good wrestling on the show. And a lot of good video packages and interviews. That's all I ask for. And promotion of future events. So that's good. Well, tonight on the Bryan and Vinny Show, we'll have more time. 90 minutes commercial free to talk AEW NXT. And I got a lot to say that I didn't get to say here about Dynamite and NXT. I didn't even do an NXT report yet. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, F4WOnline.com/Apple, F4WOnline.com/Spotify, F4WOnline.com/YouTube, or F4WOnline.com. And we'll see you next time for more Wrestling Observer Live.